What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We got a request to do a Palkia deck, and so I'm going to be kind of making Palkia the focal center of the deck. The original deck list that was sent to me did feature Iron Valiant, but I preferred to take it out of the list just because of the fact that Iron Valiant requires you to not only play it, but then 4 switches. And I felt like 2 was kind of good enough, so I cut the Iron Valiants in favor of a couple other cards, and I made Palkia the focal point of the deck. Since I actually think Palkia is kind of a really underrated attacker right now, a lot of benches want to go pretty wide, and so you're already hitting enough damage to one-shot most things in the format outside of Charizard, and then you can use Max Belt in order to supplement the last of that damage to take out things like Dracopult. Thanks to the addition of having something like Kieran, you're able to kind of find your pieces a lot easier. So it's actually pretty nice overall. The only thing I would potentially change is, like, if you wanted to, you could change the Bidoof line for a Pidgeot line, and then you would just change out a couple cards for the rare candies. Personally, I found the Pidgeot line a little bit better, but you could change that if you wanted. But yeah, this is kind of my overall list. It just focuses on having Palkia around and being able to use Roseanne's backup, so that way you can reshuffle the Max Belt if you need to. We also, because we run Vs, we're able to run the Seal Stone, which is always strong, and we have almost all water Pokemon, so we can use Irida as well, making it real easy to get our pieces. We also run the Squawkabilly to accelerate our early game, get energies in the discard pile, things like that. We do also run the Canceling Cologne, so that way potentially we can do like a counter catcher Canceling Cologne play, or we can even use our boss to make the same play work for ourselves. We also run things like the Lumineon and the Iron Bundle just as backup supporter options and things like that. But yeah, that's the list. As for other things, right now we have a giveaway going on that'll get drawn on Saturday, I believe it is, July 6th. So on that day, the giveaway will be drawn. It's for 100 packs of Twilight Masquerade or Shrouded Fables if you want to delay your prize. So all you have to do to enter is just type it in the comment section down below, hashtag giveaway, and then just put what your favorite Pokemon main series game is. If you don't have one, you can also put your favorite TCG set as well as there's a secondary giveaway option that all you have to do is submit down in the comment section. Same thing, just put hashtag giveaway, and then just put your favorite kind of deck list right now. It doesn't have to be anything good, just kind of wacky and fun. And whichever one I like the most, I'll give 50 packs away to as well, following the same rules, Twilight Masquerade or Shrouded Fables, depending on if you want to delay your victory pulls. But yeah, outside of that, be sure to let me know what you want to see next in the comment section down below. If there's a request or anything like that of a deck you'd want to see, be sure to let me know. I'm happy to do them. This is the account that asked to see it. I would attempt to pronounce it. My apologies, but my ability to pronounce this is going to be awful, and I don't want to be disrespectful. But yeah, my ability to read that is not going to happen. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the announcements. Also, we have a community Discord. If you've never seen the channel before, there is a community Discord. It's down in the description if you want to join it and take part in other stuff. There, feel free to do so. And yeah, if you like the list or anything like that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and give any critiques to the list down below so we can try to help this person out with kind of optimizing their list the best possible with the cards they have available. They have limited cards from my understanding, so I wanted to make it as kind of a simplified list as possible. Keep it to things that are already either really easy to access or like something they would have already had in their original deck list. But yeah, that's kind of it for the list, and we'll jump into game number 1 in a moment, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1. We're going to be going first. We'll see what we're up against momentarily. We don't open the best, but we do have a Pokégear to try to get us out for our next turn. We also have the option to Ultra Ball some stuff away to grab ourselves Bibarel, draw ourselves a new hand. So, a little bit of an unfortunate brick start, but that's okay. We're kind of designed to play out of it. we see Manaphy and Snorunt. We do get to see the Palkia here. We can go Pokégear, grab ourselves the Irida for next turn. So, honestly, not too bad. We will need to remove the Manaphy, but honestly, if they make a whole bunch of Frostlass, that'll do that for us. We see Greninja, not too bad. I forget, is Greninja 310? I think it might be. Okay, pretty weak turn from them, which works out for us. Ooh, we drew into the Bibarel. That's pretty sweet. So we'll go Palkia here. We can go Irida. Irida can grab us the Greninja. And can grab us the Earthen Vessel. We're not in a matchup that Lost Vacuum will matter, so we can go... We can pitch the Lost Vacuum, grab ourselves 2 energies. We'll concealed cards, discard 1. It just gets us more of what we already have, but that's fine. We can go here. And then, is there something we want to Ultra Ball for? So we can get rid of these. We can grab ourselves the other Bibarel. Place that down. And then we'll just look for a switch. Jamming Tower, not great. Kind of a very weak turn, but... oh well. On our following turn, if we want, we can switch our Palkia in and start trying to get attacks off, which is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start applying pressure. Obviously, I'd love to be able to use Radiant Greninja, but if I can get Palkia in, knock out the Manaphy, then that'll work out all the same. An Ultra Ball from my opponent. We'll see what they play. They get rid of a Water Energy and Greninja. Or Water Energy and the Rare Candy. Which is weird, because you think they'd want to just make Greninja on this turn, right? Like, they have Ultra Ball. So I wonder what these other 2 cards are. We know they added the Rotom. So what are these 2 cards that they found so valuable that they didn't want to discard? We get the Nest Ball here. We can grab ourselves a second Palkia. But honestly, I kind of want the Iron Bundle. We can go Kieran, switch, bring this in, draw ourselves a couple cards. We get an Irida. Not what we'd love to have, but it'll work. We'll Star Portal here. Go 1 and 1. We'll just have to manually attach the energies. But we can Subspace Swell here, forcing them to either give up 2 prizes on the next turn. There's another energy. So the whole thing is that we knew they would bring in Froakie here, right? Which is why we grabbed ourselves the Iron Bundle, since we'll put ourselves in a position that they kind of have to either give up the Rotom for 2 prizes or give up the Frostlass, and then their deck doesn't work. That being said, I'm still really confused why they went Instant Charge. Oh, they're playing it with this kind of Greninja. They just went double colorless? I don't think this deck's very good. Unless they're just playing like a one-of this and they just happen to draw into it. But yeah, I'm just gonna attach the water energy to the Greninja. Get his Buddy Puff in. He's only gonna get 40 damage out of this. Didn't even get that. So we have plenty of time and we can keep the Iron Bundle in play. We'll go Irida. Grab ourselves the Manaphy of our own, just so that way we already have it. And then we'll grab the Earthen Vessel for now. We have to get some of these cards out of our hand. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab an Ultra Ball. So we can throw this down. We'll attach the energy. Then what we can do is just throw down the Temple of Sinnoh just to stop this. It's not super relevant. We'll get rid of this and the Jamming Tower. We can fail this on purpose. Then go ahead and Pal Pad. Put both of these back in because we're going to need them to KO Greninjas later. We can Industrious install ourselves some cards. And we're set up for the next turn to get some energy in hand, but honestly, we're just going to go ahead and discard that too. We do have this, though it doesn't really do anything for us on this turn, so we can go ahead and discard that. Since we already used our VSTAR power, it's kind of useless. But we do have the energy that we need on the following turn. We can do 260, which again, we're a little bit short. Had we been able to find our belt, that would have been great. Unfortunately, we just weren't able to. But honestly, on the next turn, we're probably just gonna switch and KO the 2 Frostlass. Or we could put 90 damage onto this, take 3 prize cards, and then just look for a boss onto the Rotom V. That's also a possibility. They go Hyperoma De-Evolution. I mean, that'll knock out my Bibarels, I guess. I'm not a fan of the Water Greninja. I feel like you just go fighting, no matter what. Because it's like, he would get so much more value out of this. The double colorless doesn't really help him. It just means that he can do the Stealthy Shuriken, which is only 40 damage, kind of worthless. The Torrential Slash would be fine, but it's like not really good enough right now. Actually, do I just go Greninja, knock this out? Like, do I just put the 90 damage here, and then the 90 damage onto the Frogadier, KO both of them, and then I won't lose fast enough for the Frostlass to, like, KO my board. Yeah, we have Manaphy, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think this game's over. Because what we can do, we get the Iono. So manually attach 1. Then what we can do is We don't want to draw Hyper Blower. We're really just looking for our Switch. So we can concealed cards here. Alright, yeah, they're going to surrender. Because pretty much what we could do from there is Iono, if we get the Switch, cool. If we don't, we can always manually retreat. We use the Hyper Blower, put that back into our deck, and get another, like, potential prize card off the map. KO the Frogadier, KO the Greninja. We go down to 2 prize cards, and then from that point, they're forced to either bring in a Frostlass that will KO every turn, and they won't outpace, like, they won't outpace us for prize cards. Especially not before we find a boss. Or we're going to be able to just KO the Rotom at any point. So the game was pretty much over. I really don't agree with using Greninja with Frostlass like that. I just think that you should just use the Fighting Greninja. And maybe they do, but they definitely misplayed also at the beginning. Where, like, had they played the Fighting Greninja, they discarded the other 2 cards in their hand, which I don't remember what they were, but they don't seem to have been very relevant. They had Rare Candy and the Water Energy, so they could have gone Froakie, Rare Candy, Water Energy, built Greninja, attacked, got themselves like a Research or something for the next turn, lived an attack, and been in a much better position. But they just discarded everything they needed for some reason. But yeah, that's game number 1. We'll jump into game number 2 in a moment, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and our opponent won the coin flip. They're having themselves go first. We are going to mulligan this hand away, but we'll see what our opponent's playing in a moment. We get a potentially playable hand. We'll see what we end up getting. We see Sandy Shocks. So we can assume we're up against Raging Bolt. Kind of odd that they decided to go first. Since they won the coin flip, and most of the time Raging Bolt wants to go second because of its ability to get, like, attacks off early. We do have the Pokégear, though, so that would be kind of nice for us. We have access to the Heavy Ball if we need it. Okay, pretty uneventful turn 1 for them, honestly. So, we'll go Heavy Ball. We'll take the Iron Bundle. We see an Irida, our Max Belt, an Energy, and a Nest Ball. So, we'll go Nest Ball first. We'll grab ourselves the... Honestly, we're going to go Squawkabilly here. Just as kind of a backup. We get ourselves the Irida, which works in our favor because we can go Irida here. Grab ourselves the Palkia. Grab ourselves a Nest Ball. We'll go Palkia, Nest Ball for a Greninja. Then what we can do is attach the Seal Stone, since we're not going to have access to our Max Belt. We can go ahead and attach our Energy for turn onto the Palkia. Then we can go ahead and Squawk. We can go ahead and concealed cards from there. Pretty cool. And then from here, we'll be able to pass. The question is, I think we just have to sack the Bidoof, actually. Yeah, we could sack the Greninja, honestly. Yeah. We'll sack we'll sack that. And then we'll pass. Because on the next turn, we'll be able to bring in Palkia. We'll be able to go for the Irida. We can always Super Rod it back in if we have to as well. There's the Bravery Charm. The Iono's kind of annoying, but not the biggest deal in the world. we do still have the option for the Ultra Ball. They will need to find a switch to get the Sandy Shocks out of the deck. They're playing Mew. Interesting. They go Vitality. They already manually attach for turn. Getting rid of a boss's orders for, what, another Ogerpon? They go a second Raging Bolt. So they can restart for 2. They don't have any energy in the discard pile, though. So Vitality's not really going to do them any good. We're lucky enough that, again, we didn't get KO'd, which is pretty nice. We have access to the Ultra Ball. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Canceling Cologne. I'll get rid of the energy for now. Alright. Was worried Pokemon wasn't going to work there for a second. We can grab ourselves Bibarel. Place this down. And then from here, I'm going to go Earthen Vessel. I'll get rid of the Palkia V. Grab myself the 2 energy. I can attach 1. Then what I'll do is go Ultra Ball, get rid of this and this, because I can always Super Rod them back in later. To grab myself... What do I really want? I can grab myself the other Palkia here. Place that down so that way that's prepared. Then what I can do is go Industrious here. We have the option to Super Rod, but we don't want to do that yet. What I can do though is go Irida, grab myself the Palkia VSTAR and the Switch. Let me go Lost Vacuum. For now. Because I have the ability to Star Portal to this, retreat it, and still have something fully powered. So what I want to do is go Hyper Blower. See what they choose to bring in. Which is what I thought. So now what I can do is go Star Portal, go 1, 2, 1. So I won't have my Seal Stone available, which, you know, is a little sad. Not super happy about that, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Go Lost Vacuum, get rid of the energy. Now we can hit for 240. Knocking this out. Grab myself 2 prizes. Which is just a Heavy Ball and a Water Energy. Both of which not super important, but I can burn a lot of cards from my hand right now. And given their status, it's going to be a little rough for them to KO me. They will have Vitality available. They'll have to find a Fighting Energy. Judging by the fact that they went Vitality... Wow, they just play Energy Search just straight up. Okay, was not really expecting that, if I'm honest. But I'm going to be able to burn a good amount of cards. And to KO me, it's going to cost 4 energy. I'll be able to knock this out, and based on how they built their board, they're not going to have an option to... Like, they're not really going to have the ability to remake a Raging Bolt right away. So what I'm going to Super Rod is actually going to be a Palkia the Palkia VSTAR, a V, and the Ursaluna. Alright, so they discarded all the energies off the back. Means we can bring this in. We do have the access to Jamming Tower, which is nice. What I'm going to do is go Heavy Ball. Ignore that. From here, I'm going to go... I'm going to go double Irida back into the deck. Because if I find Irida, it's the same thing. Then from here, honestly, I'm just going to drop Jamming Tower. And then we'll go Concealed Cards with another Energy and Iono. So we'll go Iono, put all this to the bottom of the deck. Draw ourselves up to 4. We find the Bidoof. We can get rid of the Bibarel. We really just want Bidoof for the extra damage. Then we can go Incisors. We do find our Palkia. I know I said I was going to do that play with the Super Rod, but I just didn't. I don't know what was wrong with me. That actually could have cost me a lot. So now we're here, we Subspace Swell, we hit for 240. We grab ourselves 2 prizes. There's the Irida and the Max Belt. Not Super Rodding is a huge mistake though, because I needed this other Palkia in the deck. So I don't know why I didn't. The Bravery Charms don't mean anything. They're just trying to get cards out of their hand so that way they can restart. Like, they'll grab themselves 2 Grass Energy here. They only had 1. 4 Irida in hand is kind of crazy. There's Vitality to 1. They're really just trying to grab themselves cards. So there's the Raging Bolt. They're going to retreat and go Sandy Shocks. Attack to get like a little bit of damage off. To set up to make the Raging Bolt a little bit easier to get. We do get Ultra Ball though. So we can get rid of this and this. Grab ourselves the... Yep. We can grab ourselves the Lumineon V. Drop Lumineon. Grab ourselves the boss's orders from the deck. Drop that down. And we'll pull up the Raging Bolt. Take the final KO for 260. And clear it. So definitely a big mistake not playing the Super Rod. I don't know why I didn't. I didn't even realize that I didn't play it until a little bit later on. It was definitely a huge mistake that could have cost me the game, but it ended up working out. Had we not drawn into the Lumineon there, what we would have done is gone Irida in order to grab ourselves the Super Rod to get our V back into the deck. And then we would have grabbed the Ultra Ball to discard the... what's it called? We would have grabbed the Super Rod in order to shuffle everything back, and then we would have looked to discard stuff if we could, or just kind of play stuff out of our hand in order to get ourselves into the... in order to draw with Bibarel to get ourselves into some of our pieces. And if we had to sack a 1-prizer or 2, then that's like what we would have had to do until we set up the new Palkia. So it could have been a little bit more iffy, but obviously we drew into the Ultra Ball, so we were good to go. But that's going to be game 2, and we'll jump into game 3 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're in a game number 3. Our opponent's going to be going first. We open just Iron Bundle, so not ideal at all. But since we are going first, we will have a couple options available to us. One of the things that we can do is go for the Ultra Ball to get ourselves a Lumineon, to grab ourselves... Wait a minute. What is this? What are we playing against? You go the Luminous Energy onto the Mew. What? What a turn. Alright, so we're gonna go get rid of these. That completely changed my perspective. I wanted to go Lumineon, grab myself like an Iono, and reshuffle. But now, I kind of want to make them keep their hand. And though it will require me to discard some stuff that I'd really like to keep, I'm going Squawk. And will I regret that later? Maybe. I'm kind of regretting it right now. But it's the play I'm making. What we'll do is we'll go Nest Ball. So we got to start getting into our deck. We're going to go Nest Ball for Greninja. Then what we can do is go Earthen Vessel, away the Water Energy for now. Grab ourselves 2 more, help thin our deck out a little bit before we Concealed. Is there anything else we want to search? No. So we can discard. We get ourselves another energy and a heavy ball. We see our other boss, our Lost Vacuum, and our Roseanne is in the discard, or in the prize cards, which is really bad because I wanted this to be able to recycle the max belt, but it is what it is. We'll put 1 onto our Palkia, and we see them playing Luminous Energy, so we're gonna hold on to the Temple of Sinnoh for right now, because there's not much that are able to do with just the single Luminous. Gouging Fire. I mean, cool, we hit it for weakness. Oh, they go Magma Basin. The Iono is fine with us. Obviously, we could have Iono'd ourselves then and, you know, not done this play, but honestly, it's fine all the same. Oh, they get themselves Monkey Dory, so the goal is to have the Luminous Energy for the Monkey Dory, so then you can Magma Basin, and that brings you up to hitting the 280 number consistently. That's kind of cool. Not good enough, though. So we'll go Concealed cards here. Get ourselves another Palkia. We get our Palkia VSTAR. How many water do we have? We go 3. The question is, do we use our Seal Stone to grab ourselves another Iono and shuffle the Monkey Dory back into their deck? And the answer is maybe. But what I think we actually do, we're about to make a really big brain play. So what we can do is grab the Switch and our Lumineon. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this. We're going to play the Jamming Tower down. That's step 1. Right? Not that that really does anything, but it just stops them from using Magma Basin. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go Switch. We're going to bring our Palkia in. Then we're going to go Hyper Blower. Force them to switch out. to bring in their Mew. Because there's no way they bring in Gouging Fire. Right? And then what we can do is lay down our other Palkia. And do just enough damage to Subspace Swell. Knock this out. Grab ourselves 2 prizes. And we got the Lost Vacuum and the Ultra Ball. And then we have the Lumineon in order to get ourselves our supporter on the next turn. They play Iron Hands. I mean, I guess that's what the... I guess you can get the value out of it because you play the Luminous Energy. But at the same time, like, you're not going to get anywhere. They do get themselves the Magma Basin. That's fine by us. We can always Lost Vacuum it away. But also, right now, they don't have... They don't have a way to get this fully powered. Unless they have an energy already in hand. Because they can Magma Basin, take 20, move the damage with Monkey Dory. Onto the active, put it in that range that they could KO it, but they're only moving 1 energy off. If they just top deck an energy off that, I'm going to be so upset. You can move the Luminous Energy. I thought you could only move a Fire Energy. That's... Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't think it worked like that. Okay, that's kind of cool. So, first things first, we're going to throw the energy onto the one on the bench. We're going to Lost Vacuum that away to get rid of the Magma Basin again. Then what we'll do is we'll drop the Lumineon. And in this case, we're going to go Irida. I know I would love to be able to go Iono here, but unfortunately I just can't. Do we Pal Pad here? How many energy are in our deck? 4. We go... Actually, we have to go Super Rod. So we'll evolve here. Go Super Rod. And shuffle these back into the deck. Actually, I don't want this. I'm going to grab myself 1 water energy, though. I don't want that because they have enough bench stuff that's just going to keep, like, resetting. Now we can Star Portal. We can go 1, 2, and 1. We can Subspace Swell. Knock this out. They're going to have to find another Stadium. And then also a whole lot of energy. And we do get our boss's orders, which is good. We get our Roseanne's back up as well. I don't know why I always say Rosamine. It's Roseanne. So, with that, it's only going to do 270. So it's not going to be enough to KO us. And then on our following turn, we can get back into... What are they going to... I mean, they can pull up the Squawk. That's totally fine, though. Because our thing is that we're just gonna boss's orders and pull the Iron Hands into the active and KO it. And they're gonna make that easier by adding stuff onto their bench. So like the wider they go, the easier this is gonna get. They can go trekking shoe. The problem is, like, outside of being able to manually attach for the turn and play Magma Basin, you don't accelerate energy fast enough to use Iron Hands, I don't think. Like, you'd have to already have the energy around before, like, being able to do that. There's our Palkia V and the Manaphy. And then from this point, we should have enough damage, right? Because it's 60. So it's 60 plus what? 20? So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So 160, 180, 200, 220, 240, right? I should be doing just enough. Yep. So I can boss that up. Take the knockout. Very interesting deck from my opponent. I kind of didn't think it was going to be good, but I like the concept around it a lot. I didn't know that Luminous Energy worked with Armor Rouge. That's really cool. I guess it makes sense because it's supplementing... Like, I just thought that you could only move Fire Energy, but I guess you can move any, and that's kind of interesting. Huh. Alright, well, that's something to think about. But anyway, that's going to be game number 3. Kind of cool that we hit for weakness, but it didn't really matter. We were going to KO everything anyway. But that's going to be game number 3. If you guys like the list, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Join the community Discord. It's in the description down below, as well as the deck list. And also be sure to join the giveaways. All the information for that is in the beginning of the video. And yeah, have a great one, guys. For my American audience, you know, happy post 4th of July. I hope you're not all too hungover or whatever you guys got into. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.